Hi Gemini, welcome to your April 2020 Astrology 33 reading. Thank you to those of you who've liked, viewed, shared, subscribed, and donated to the channel. I appreciate all of that. And for those of you interested in booking a personal reading with me, just check out the description of the video for more details on all that. As for what we have in front of us, we have a Celtic cross spread as always. Then we also have a couple of oracle cards we'll take a look at once we get through the main spread, and also a mudra card. So let's get started. In the main situation position, we have the Nine of Cups. So this is actually Pisces energy, which for you guys is your 10th house. You may often hear this referred to as the wish card as well. But more than anything, I see this as a feeling of contentment. So maybe you guys are actually starting to receive some kind of accolades in your career, for example. But another way that this card often comes across for me as well is also being satisfied with yourself, basically, and generally speaking, when you get to that point in your life, that tends to draw more good things your way anyway. So that's what I see as the main energy for you guys. Now, in the challenger obstacle position, we have the sun in reverse. So for this to be coming up as the challenger obstacle and in a reverse position, this could actually be saying that maybe for some of you guys, you might have actually been experiencing depression lately. And maybe that's what this is pointing to, or maybe you guys have actually, turned that around and now you are happy. For some of you, actually, this could also point to maybe you've actually kicked an addiction recently. That's another way I could see this playing out too. And again, maybe, like I said, it was, especially given that the Mercury retrograde in Pisces was your 10th house of career, this could just be saying, again, that maybe there was some kind of recognition that you weren't receiving for the work you were doing in the past. And maybe now as Mercury goes back over those degrees, you actually do receive that recognition. So that could be what's at play there. In the foundation position, we have the Queen of Swords card. So this is actually Libra energy, which for you guys is your 5th house. And to me, that's another indicator of balance being restored. So again, like I said, whether it was a confidence thing, right, where maybe you felt like you weren't getting the recognition that you deserved and now you are in the workplace, or just in general, you guys weren't feeling your best, and now maybe you actually, are feeling that confidence coming back for you. I mean, you guys are going to have Venus moving into your sign pretty early on in the month, and it's going to be there for a long time because there's eventually going to be a retrograde there, actually. It's actually going to start its shadow phase, I think, around the 10th of the month, to give or take a couple of days. So, almost as soon as it gets there, it's going to go into its shadow period, but overall, it should be a fairly good time for you guys in that regard, as far as just having Venus in your sign for such an extended stay. There could definitely be some reevaluation of things. But yeah, with this in the foundation position, again, like I said, whether it was you guys weren't receiving recognition for some work you were doing, it looks like now that's coming back around. And like I said, that could definitely make sense as far as the same degrees that Mercury was retrograde through. It's going to be moving through those same degrees and then eventually moving into the sign of Aries. So, could definitely be some recognition coming your way. And balance restored as well. Possibly, if we want to look at a timeline, maybe even there's some significance to that Libra full moon for you guys, since we are going to have a Libra full moon in April. Past energy, we see the Hermit and the Five of Wands. So a couple ways I could see this playing out, since this is Virgo energy, which is the natural ruler of the 6th house of work. Maybe this is saying that you were just in a very competitive work environment. And maybe that was why it might have been difficult for you to stand out among the crowd, right? So maybe that's what you were looking at, trying to figure out how best to stand out in some regard. Another way this could be playing out too, though, is maybe you guys were, especially for those of you who might have gone through some kind of depression, or at least, just feeling down in general for a bit. This could just be saying that maybe you guys were looking back and analyzing a conflict that you might have had with someone. The reason why I say this could be a conflict is, well, obviously we could kind of see that vibe in the artwork, right? But also because for you guys, Leo, which this is Leo energy, is your 3rd house of communication. And especially given, again, that we did have a Mercury retrograde, and Mercury being your ruler, maybe there was some kind of a confrontation you might have had with someone, verbal more than anything. I'm not thinking actual physical altercation, but maybe you've just been really replaying that in your mind. Maybe there's been some regrets around that. And maybe now you're finally starting to see the situation from a different perspective. In the present position, we have the Empress. So, to me, more than anything, I feel like this is pointing to what I was saying, which is that pretty early on in the month, you guys are going to have Venus move into your sign. And like I said, it's going to be there for about 4 months because of the retrograde. So, this could just be pointing to the energy that you guys are in, maybe being a bit more receptive. And, thinking about it from that angle as well, what this could even be saying for some of you with that, the sun in reverse, could even be pointing to maybe you realize that you might have been getting in your own way from maybe not being, not having as much fun in a certain way, maybe taking yourselves a little bit too seriously. Because with the sun in reverse, we think about the sun as that playful, youthful, creative, energetic vibe, right? So to have that in reverse, that might have been even for some of your realization that, you might have been blocking your own success in some way, shape, or form. And now with the Empress energy, you're just, embracing your energy, being more receptive and open. And usually that tends, like I said, especially with that Nine of Cups energy too, just being in that energy in general tends to bring more good things your way. In the near future position, we have the Strength card. So to me, I almost see this as another indicator of you guys staying in a receptive vibe as opposed to being aggressive and going after something, right? Because if we look at the artwork here, it looks like she's trying to close the lion's mouth, right? So if you think about the lion representing ego, or even just that energetic drive, right? This could just be saying tempering that a little bit and just trusting that things will come your way, right? Almost a kill them with kindness kind of vibe, right? So that could be what's at play for some of you. And especially given that this is, again, Leo energy pointing to your house communication too. This could just be saying that maybe you guys are, being mindful of how you come across when you communicate, especially given that the Mercury retrograde was in your 10th. That also, in addition to career, it also represents how you're seen, in the world. So maybe you might have came to a realization that maybe the way you were communicating, for example, maybe the way you were communicating, people might have viewed it as combative or competitive in some way, shape, or form. And maybe you were unaware of that for a while, right? Maybe that's what that sun energy is saying, that, to you was just more of a playful energy, right? But to others, they didn't view it that way. So maybe this is you coming out of that realization. And now, especially with Venus moving to your sign, maybe that softens how you come across to people as well, but in a positive way. All right, in the position of your influence on the situation, we have the Ten of Swords. So I would definitely say that that's another indicator that you guys might be ending a way that you used to communicate in the past, maybe improving it. And again, this could definitely be also, like I said, for those of you who might have been going through a bit of a depression, this could be pointing to you coming to an end of that cycle as well, especially because at the bottom of the deck, we actually have the Nine of Swords, and both of these are Gemini energies. This represents the middle 10 degrees of Gemini, the last 10 degrees of Gemini. So it's going to just be saying that that's that progression, wrapping up that actual bit of a depressive vibe you guys have been going through. And I do have to say that beneath that, actually, I see the 10 of Cups too. So definitely positive vibes there. Saying that you guys, it looks like you are putting some, negative cycle behind you in some way, shape, or form, regardless of what exactly that cycle was. In the environment position, we have the Queen of Pentacles and we have the Five of Pentacles. So, pretty big contrast of energy here. This is actually the court card for Capricorn, and then this is actually Taurus energy, the first 10 degrees of Taurus, which is where Uranus is. And I do have to say that, trying to think of when it'll be, I think around the end of the first week of April, we're actually going to see a square between Mars and Aquarius and Uranus and Taurus. So it could be as simple as to say that, you guys are all around the world, we're already seeing a lot of volatility around finances, but this could point to that time, especially because for you guys, Capricorn represents finances of others. So this can just be as simple as someone in your immediate circle, possibly, for example, a romantic partner might be experiencing some financial difficulties at this time. I mean, plenty of people are at this current time, especially at all the uncertainty with the markets and everything, right? So that could be one way this is playing out. Another way this could be playing out is to say that there might be someone holding off on giving you money that you may be owed in some way, shape, or form, again, because of the financial uncertainty, right? So maybe this was someone that you've been negotiating a deal with, for example, and maybe now they're starting to get cold feet about that because they might be worried, again, looking at all of the crazy stuff going on with the markets, right? Obviously, like we see that coronavirus situation spreading, so could be one of those things where people are just really nervous about entering into new investments at this time. So, they might be a bit reluctant. And another way this could be coming across too is they could still be trying to give off that vibe that they are still in good standing when really they may not be. So, I would say I don't really pick up on a deceptive vibe with that though. So, if it's just as simple as someone who's going through a tough time, given that it looks like some of you might have just coming out of one yourselves, try to have a little compassion for them. Probably a pretty good message that most people should embrace at this time, but that's what I'm seeing there. In the hopes or fears position, we have the Seven of Wands. So more Leo energy here. We saw the 5, and then the Sun could technically be a bit of Leo energy. The Strength card is definitely the major arcana card for Leo. So a lot of Leo energy here, and again, like I said, that's also communication for you guys. So this could just be saying that maybe you're hoping to defend yourselves in some way. This is usually doing just that in a successful manner. I view this as energy of the Sun and Jupiter. So, it's like you have that upper hand, right? Where there might be a lot of people challenging your viewpoint, but you also have that higher ground, right? So, but again, keep in mind this is just a hope. So it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to play out that way, but that's at least what you're hoping for. And outcome position, a lot of cards came out, but let's go through them. We have the 6 of Pentacles in reverse, the 8 of Pentacles, the High Priestess, the Chariot, and the 5 of Swords. Really cluster F of cards, but this is how I'm really seeing this. Again, I'm being drawn to, especially given that we see the 5 of Pentacles there, right? If someone is stuck in that 5 of Pentacles phase, and that's the 6th Pentacle, right? They might be a little reluctant to bring that 6th Pentacle forward. So again, I feel like for a lot of you, this could be some kind of partnership deal that was maybe in the works, and now whoever you were going to be entering into the partnership with might actually withdraw their share. But I don't see that really getting you down for long. It looks like you just take it in stride and actually just continue to work on your own. I see this as very much like an apprentice energy or also an entrepreneur type energy. Like I say, this card, the artwork almost speaks for itself where the guy is literally making his own money, right? So, and then we have the High Priestess, which again could just be, intuitively something might tell you that, what, rather than wait around for this deal to fall, into place, you're just going to do your own thing. And intuitively, you might just get a hunch that that's the best move and getting that forward movement with the Chariot. And the good thing with that is this is actually, this is, for me, I often view this as Pisces energy, which again is your 10th house of career and social status. This is Cancer energy, which represents your 2nd house of finances. And then, so to me, I see that, and this is often referred to as a victory card sometimes too. And then we have that 5 of Swords. So to me, this makes me feel like this is you guys actually, normally I'd view this as a very cautionary card. But given this layout in particular, I feel like this is you guys actually realizing that, this person has no interest in a fair deal at this time. Now, if they are engaging in that Five of Swords energy with you, that's one thing. But I really, again, I feel like this is more, and this could be someone that you've been dealing with in the past too, because all three of these five energies might be tied to this person or this group. Because we have the five there, the five in the past, and the five in the environment. So this could just be you deciding, okay, this person has no interest in fairness, right? As far as putting in their fair share in a deal. Could be anything, a relationship, for example. Maybe they don't want to put in the effort, right? They want you to do all the work. That's one way it could play out. But, whatever the case may be, I feel like you're just going to not even let it bother you. You're just going to let it roll off your shoulder and just keep moving forward. But like I said, just try to have compassion for the person, because really, obviously with those other two five energies, you might feel like maybe they are deliberately trying to do something, but really I feel like they're just a little, they could just be freaking out. For example, like I said, with all the things going on in the world, could be as simple as that, and then that might make them withdraw. So if you can, try not to take it personally. All right, so moving on to the oracle cards. First we have Clean It Up. There's the artwork, and the number is 21. Interesting card there, right? Clean it up. Feels like that's been the theme for a while too, with all the cleaning supplies people are buying up all over the place. Never a bad time for good hygiene though, so there's that. Essential meanings says getting to the core of a situation, freedom from a burden, cleaning house, sweeping away what is no longer needed. The oracle's message: ever feel so bogged down with emotional gunk that you can't think straight? Could you be surrounded by physical clutter in your home also? Too much work? Overwhelmed? Time to clean house. Every item out of place natters away at you. Every unresolved resentment, every comparison to others that leads to a sense of lack, takes up energetic space. Every unpaid bill just adds up to an unnecessary feeling of being overwhelmed. Now is the time to free yourself by energetically cleaning house. Just do it. Make room for the miracles that are lining up for you. So pretty good message there, and I really feel like that's just that could be a good message for the collective right now, right? But hopefully that resonated with you guys. All right, the relationship message says time to clear the air, take a look at your side of the street, and say what's on your mind. Sweep away the old stuff so that a spring breeze can flow through with new energy. It's the perfect time to do an inventory of your dynamics and see what's yours and what's not yours, to clean up the relationship. Everyone brings some baggage. Sort through what you brought with you and let go of what is no longer needed. Become unencumbered, and your relationship will flourish. So, the everyone brings some baggage thing makes me think of, again, if there's this person in the environment, really could just be that they genuinely feel this way. And maybe if they are projecting this image outwardly, it might frustrate you that they might act a certain way. But if that's really how they're feeling, right? I mean, this could also point to a card of like a depressive energy, maybe even physical illness in some cases. So, like I said, especially for those of you where maybe you guys had just come out of a tough time yourselves, right, with that Nine of Swords and Ten of Swords, and now things turn around for you, right? Maybe the message there is to try to have compassion for others who might not be having such a good time right now, All right. The prosperity message says simple things like opening your mail, paying bills, sorting out your timetable, making lists, and getting organized is what this symbol means when it comes to your work. Make time for yourself too. This card is a sign you may be overburdened and overwhelmed. It's okay to say no. You'll prosper even more if you do. So, I do have to say, thinking about this is, I think, the second time it's referenced bills and stress around bills. If you guys are worried about paying bills in some way, shape, or form, because again, maybe, like I said, maybe things are going well for you, but maybe the person that you're with, maybe they're having financial difficulty right now, right? So if you guys go half and half on bills, for example, maybe even though you're doing well, they might not be, and then there could be some struggle there. Try to check out websites for the different, corporations. Like I know, at least where I am, they were talking about for some utility companies and whatnot, they're not, going to disconnect service during this time because they understand people might be going through some hardship. So even just knowing that might give you guys some peace of mind if you are going through a bit of financial difficulty. So hopefully that resonated with you guys too, if that's the case. Moving on to the next oracle card, we have Starfish Spirit. It says open to infinite possibility. There's the artwork, and the number is 59. So let's see what this has to say. It makes me think of that Nine of Cups and Empress energy, but we'll see what it says. All right, it says, stretched out on the beach, the starfish opens fully to the rays of the sun, to the power of potential. As you look out toward the horizon, do you open up to infinite possibility? Spirit is the source of opportunities beyond your wildest imagination and ensures endless possibilities are available. At this time, Starfish Spirit urges you to stretch past the limits of your everyday perception and comfort zone to dream of bigger things and imagine with even greater hope and faith, for miraculous potential is shining down on you. Feel it, bask in it, and open yourself to be filled with inspiration. This is a very fortunate sign that Starfish Spirit has come to remind you of your infinite potential. So definitely a pretty good message there. And like I said, it definitely looks like some of you might have been going through a bit of a dark time recently, but I do see it looks like that's turning around for you, which is awesome. Like I said, if that's the case and you have someone in your environment going through a tough time, just try to have a bit of compassion there as well. All right. So last thing we have is a mudra card, and you guys have the Sahasrara mudra. There it is there, and the keyword for it is interconnectedness. So actually, again, sounds like a good thing for the collective as a whole right now, right? So a lot of info on this card, but if you guys want to pause it or take a screenshot, you can. And then under benefits, it says improves brain function, reduces headaches, increases concentration, stimulates the pituitary and pineal glands, benefiting all the endocrine glands, nourishes the hair, activates the body's self-healing power, calms the spirit, induces feelings of connection with all life. So if that sounds like something you think would be beneficial for you guys, I will put the name of that mudra in the description of the video. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.